Today, we're examining one of the more mysterious elements in the Lord of the Rings, the nameless things that Gandalf mentions beneath the Misty Mountains. This enigmatic reference has intrigued readers for years, largely because Gandalf raises the subject only to immediately change it, leaving us with little information and many questions. Gandalf's ominous warning. The mention of the nameless things occurs during one of the most intense moments in The Lord of the Rings, Gandalf's account of his battle with the Balrog. After falling from the bridge of Khazad-dûm, Gandalf and the Balrog plummet into the unfathomable depths beneath Moria. They descend far below the levels carved out by the dwarves, into places where even the greatest miners of Middle-earth never dared to delve. In Gandalf's own words, they fell far under the living earth where time is not counted. This phrase alone hints at a place removed from the natural world, a shadowy realm where even time does not behave normally. In the deep tunnels, Gandalf and the Balrog become locked in a relentless struggle, each clutching and hewing the other without rest or reprieve. Their battle unfolds in an alien setting where even Middle-earth's greatest wizard seems out of his depth. Finally, the Balrog flees into a network of dark tunnels, and Gandalf follows, entering a labyrinth that, as he says, was not made by Durin's folk. It's here, amid these dark tunnels, that Gandalf first mentions the nameless things. He tells Gimli, son of Glóin, that far, far below the deepest delving of the dwarves, the world is gnawed by nameless things. The word gnawed evokes a sense of ceaseless, destructive activity, as though these creatures are not merely living, but actively wearing away at the very foundation of the world. Gandalf's statement that even Sauron knows them not only deepens the mystery, as Sauron, one of the oldest beings in Middle-earth, has vast knowledge of the world's workings and its history. These creatures, however, lie outside even his reach. What's equally unsettling is Gandalf's decision not to explain further. He simply states that they are older than he, indicating a primal ancient power, and leaves it at that. His reluctance implies not only respect, but also a degree of fear. Gandalf has been to a place that even he, one of the wise Maiar, cannot or will not fully describe. Perhaps as a servant of the Valar and a protector of Middle-earth, Gandalf feels it's better not to dwell on such dark matters. His journey through Moria was already full of despair. Mentioning these creatures would only darken the light of day, as he says. And so, the nameless things remain hidden, known only by this cryptic description. Hints from The Hobbit. For further hints, we can look to The Hobbit, where Tolkien briefly references other creatures lurking in the dark beneath the Misty Mountains. During Bilbo's adventure through Goblin Town, as he stumbles through the maze-like tunnels, we're given a glimpse into the hidden life beneath Middle-earth. In a moment where Tolkien slips into the narrator's omniscient voice, he describes other things, more slimy than fish, hiding in the depths. These creatures exist unbeknownst to the goblins, lurking in shadowy crevices far from any light. The narrator even speculates that some of these caves and tunnels go back in their beginnings to ages before the goblins, who only widened them and joined them up with passages. This reference, though subtle, suggests that the tunnels beneath the Misty Mountains might be older than even the most ancient civilizations in Middle-earth, and that they might house creatures who predate all known life on the surface. When we consider the description of these creatures, slimy, unseen, and alien, it resonates strongly with Gandalf's later warning about the nameless things. They are entities of the dark, creatures of primeval age, entirely removed from the races of elves, men, or even the goblins who currently inhabit the mountains. Adding to this atmosphere of horror is the fact that Tolkien uses this description as a prelude to Gollum, one of Middle-earth's most tragic and mysterious figures. Gollum's cave is set far away from the goblins' main halls, deep within a subterranean lake, a place that feels like another world entirely. Gollum himself is an outsider, driven to the darkness by the influence of the One Ring. However, while Gollum might fit the descriptor of slimy and slinking, he's not one of these nameless things. Rather, he's merely a visitor to the darkness. This scene from The Hobbit reinforces the idea that the Misty Mountains are full of ancient, hidden horrors, layers of life existing long before the current inhabitants. These dark places teem with creatures that are largely forgotten or undiscovered, monsters who live on the fringes of Middle-earth's history and whose origins are lost to time. If there are creatures older and stranger than goblins and even the dwarves dwelling here, it stands to reason that Gandalf's nameless things could be even more alien, residing in realms too deep and remote for the ordinary inhabitants of Middle-earth to comprehend. The nature of the nameless things. To understand the nameless things, let's delve into what Gandalf's words reveal about their nature. His description offers us three main clues. They are older than Sauron. This is an extraordinary statement. Sauron, as a Maya, existed before the physical world was created. He is one of the Ainur, beings made by Eru Ilúvatar, the supreme deity, before time and space were shaped. For Gandalf to say that the nameless things are older than Sauron could imply one of two things. Either they entered the physical realm before him, or their origins are somehow tied to the raw forces of Middle-earth, separate from the Ainur's influence. These beings might even be echoes of an age so ancient that even the Ainur overlooked them, entities that entered the world's fabric before it took its final shape. They dwell in the deepest places of the world. Gandalf emphasizes that the nameless things exist far below even the deepest delvings of the dwarves. The dwarves, renowned for their mining, often explored the roots of mountains, going farther and deeper than any other race dared. For creatures to exist in realms deeper than the dwarves could reach suggests they are part of a level of Middle-earth, not merely hidden, but fundamentally detached from the surface world. The word Nord also suggests that these creatures aren't passive. They're actively wearing away at the foundation of the world, like parasites or corrosive forces eroding Middle-earth from within. It's as if these nameless things are a part of Middle-earth's own natural decay, a dark force that consumes and breaks down. They bring despair and darkness. Gandalf's refusal to discuss the nameless things further, saying it would darken the light of day, hints at the malevolent or horrifying nature of these beings. This reluctance is unusual, given that Gandalf often talks openly about Middle-earth's other dark powers, including Sauron and the Nazgul. His reticence here implies that these creatures are somehow different from ordinary monsters or dark entities. They possess a horror so profound that even Gandalf would rather not give voice to it. The nameless things might not be servants of Sauron or Morgoth, but instead a dark aspect of the world itself, ancient beings who evoke fear not just because of their age, but because of their utter alienness. These nameless things aren't just unknown creatures. They represent something primordial, a reminder that Middle-earth is vast, layered, and older than even the immortal beings who currently inhabit it. They embody a side of the world that remains ungovernable and unknowable, an ancient darkness existing below the familiar narrative of good and evil that defines Middle-earth's upper realms. These creatures suggest that some parts of the world are simply beyond the knowledge or control of even the most powerful beings existing on the fringes of creation, outside the cosmic struggles of elves, men, and even the Ainur. In this way, Tolkien adds a depth to Middle-earth that enhances its sense of reality and danger. These nameless things make us feel that Middle-earth is not merely a stage for epic battles, but a realm with deep, untapped, and terrifying mysteries, a place where even the wisest beings tread carefully. Ancient inspiration and mythological parallels. The concept of nameless things, lurking in the depths of Middle-earth, brings to mind ancient mythologies and primal fears that exist across human history and cultures. Tolkien, as a professor of Anglo-Saxon and expert in Northern European mythology, drew upon a vast array of ancient tales when crafting the darker elements of Middle-earth. The Nameless things evoke this mythological influence, particularly stories where mysterious and ancient beings dwell in deep, inaccessible places, embodying forces beyond human understanding. One of the most prominent parallels is with Nidhöggr, the dragon that gnaws at the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree, in Norse mythology. Nidhöggr represents a dark, destructive force that exists outside of the human world, constantly wearing down creation itself. Tolkien's phrase, "gnawed by nameless things," may deliberately echo this mythology. Both Nidhöggr and the Nameless things perform a kind of endless, ceaseless act of destruction on the world's foundation. This process is never completed. It's a perpetual corrosion, an ongoing decay that, if unchecked, could undermine existence itself. Another parallel can be drawn with Greek mythology and its ancient primordial gods and creatures, which existed before the Olympians and defied categorization. Figures like Gaia, the earth, and Erebus, darkness, suggest forces so ancient that they exist outside the familiar mythological hierarchy, embodying the primal aspects of the world rather than individual personalities. In some myths, primordial beings of chaos, such as Typhon, a monstrous creature capable of immense destruction, were said to dwell deep beneath the earth. In Tolkien's world, Sauron and even Morgoth fit within a defined hierarchy. They are entities with goals and desires that shape their actions. The Nameless things, however, feel like forces that transcend such definitions. They exist without purpose in the human sense, gnawing at the roots of the world itself, an image that feels both mythological and unsettlingly real. In British and Celtic folklore, similar ideas appear in the concept of eldritch beings, creatures so old and strange that they lack names, existing in realms beyond mortal understanding. These beings often live in dark, hidden places, emerging only to wreak havoc or instill fear. For instance, stories of underground fairy realms often tell of strange, malevolent creatures lurking beneath hills and mountains, creatures who are neither benevolent nor entirely hostile but utterly alien to humanity. Tolkien drew heavily from British folklore, and these nameless things may echo that folkloric tradition, representing an ancient, almost magical part of the world that exists outside of human comprehension or control. By leaving the nameless things vague and rooted in myth, Tolkien taps into a collective memory of primal fears and ancient legends. The fact that Gandalf, a Maya and one of the wise, does not even attempt to describe them fully suggests that these creatures might belong to a part of creation that even the Valar did not fully control or understand. They could be remnants of an earlier era of chaos, existing from a time before even the world took shape. This mythological ambiguity deepens the mystery of the nameless things, making them feel as though they could exist beyond the pages of Tolkien's world and inhabit our own imagination, hidden in the darkest, most inaccessible depths of the earth. The Watcher in the water, a glimpse at the unknown. One of the few times we might see a nameless thing in action is when the Fellowship encounters the Watcher in the water outside the gates of Moria. The Watcher is a creature unlike any other in Middle-earth, a strange, tentacled monster lying in wait within a dark, ancient pool. This pool is described as murky, unnatural, and strangely ominous, giving the impression that it harbors ancient secrets. When Frodo is seized by one of its tentacles, Gandalf warns that the Watcher is something older and fouler than orcs, phrasing similar to his description of the nameless things. The Watcher has an intelligence of sorts, as it seems able to distinguish Frodo from the rest of the group, seizing him first and signaling an awareness beyond mere animal instinct. Its tentacles are described as having luminous, finger-like projections, giving it an unsettling, alien quality. The creature's refusal to show itself fully, hiding beneath the water and revealing only its tentacles, reinforces its enigmatic and horrifying nature. Even the Fellowship's hasty retreat into Moria after battling it implies that the Watcher, is a force best left undisturbed. In this moment, Tolkien masterfully blends horror with the unknown. The Watcher's physical form remains largely a mystery, with only glimpses provided through its tentacles, which gives it a sense of Lovecraftian horror. The notion of encountering something vast, ancient and malevolent that defies understanding and refuses to show its true form stirs a primal fear of the dark unknown. In Lovecraft's works, eldritch horrors are often described in fragmentary ways, with characters unable to fully perceive or comprehend them. Similarly, Tolkien leaves the true nature of the Watcher unexplained, allowing readers to imagine its full form and background in terrifying detail. The Watcher's appearance and behavior suggest it may indeed be one of Gandalf's nameless things, driven or drawn to the surface. If it was forced from the deep places of the world, it may have crept toward the surface, hiding in the dark pool outside Moria. This idea aligns with Gandalf's statement about the nameless things. Something has crept, or has been driven out of dark waters under the mountains. The language suggests that these ancient creatures may be moving upward, as if disturbed by deeper events in Middle-earth. It's possible that the power struggles between Sauron, the Balrog, and the forces of good have driven creatures like the Watcher to seek new places to hide, surfacing closer to inhabited lands. The Watcher in the water also serves to remind the Fellowship and the reader that Middle-earth's dangers extend far beyond the visible threats of Sauron and his armies. The world is vast and ancient, home to creatures and forces beyond any single conflict or story. The Watcher embodies this idea, representing an ancient and incomprehensible force with no ties to the larger narrative, yet capable of instilling fear and awe in one of Middle-earth's most powerful wizards. Gandalf's unwillingness to fully describe the Watcher, even though it was clearly dangerous enough to drive the Fellowship into Moria, underscores the idea that some creatures exist outside the bounds of typical understanding or categorization. In a world where so much hinges on names and identity, where even ancient entities like Balrogs and dragons are well known and named, the existence of nameless things like the Watcher reminds us of the limits of knowledge and the presence of mysteries in Middle-earth that even the wisest do not wish to disturb. These creatures serve as a reminder of the vast, untouched darkness in Tolkien's world, where even Sauron's influence does not reach. By making the Watcher one of the few possible encounters with these nameless things, Tolkien brings the horror of the unknown to the forefront of the Fellowship's journey, and leaves a lingering sense of unease that reinforces the depth and mystery of Middle-earth. Tom Bombadil and Ungoliant, outliers of Middle-earth. In Middle-earth, two characters stand out as mysterious, ancient beings who exist outside the usual order of things, Tom Bombadil and Ungoliant. While neither is exactly the same as the nameless things Gandalf references, they share certain qualities that make them intriguing parallels to these unknown entities lurking far below the surface. Both Bombadil and Ungoliant predate the events of The Lord of the Rings by ages and seem to defy the usual categorizations within Tolkien's world. Tom Bombadil is one of the most enigmatic figures in Middle-earth. Known as Eowyn Ben-Adar to the elves, meaning oldest and fatherless, he is an ancient being who lives in the Old Forest, unaffected by the pull of the One Ring or the conflicts of Middle-earth. Unlike Sauron, Gandalf, or any of the Ainur, Bombadil appears to have no specific role or purpose in the cosmic order. He simply is. The elves, wise as they are, have only a limited understanding of his nature, and even Gandalf seems unsure about who or what Bombadil truly is. Tolkien once described Bombadil as an intentional enigma, existing in a unique realm of mystery and magic. The traits Bombadil shares with the nameless things are subtle but meaningful. Like the nameless things, Bombadil is ancient and unconcerned with the affairs of the outside world. He appears content within his own domain, following his own strange logic and rhythm. He doesn't seem bound by the same rules as other characters, existing outside of time and history in ways that are difficult to comprehend. Despite his friendly, whimsical nature, Bombadil holds a power that makes him nearly invulnerable. The ring has no effect on him, hinting that he operates on a plane beyond even Sauron's reach. In a sense, Bombadil represents a light version of the Nameless Things, an ancient, timeless force that lives alongside the world without actively participating in it. Ungoliant, on the other hand, represents a darker parallel to the Nameless Things. A creature of darkness and insatiable hunger, she is first introduced in the Silmarillion, where she aids Morgoth in stealing the Silmarils and destroying the two trees of Valinor. Ungoliant's origins are shrouded in mystery, and even the Valar are uncertain about where she came from. Some speculate that she may have been a spirit of darkness who took on physical form, but this is never confirmed. Her endless hunger and ability to consume light make her a truly terrifying being, a dark force seemingly unbound by the rules governing other creatures in Middle-earth. Like the Nameless Things, Ungoliant defies categorization. While she assists Morgoth briefly, her allegiance is ultimately to herself and her endless desire to consume. She does not fit within the moral and cosmic structure of Middle-earth's typical inhabitants, nor does she follow any kind of hierarchy or allegiance after she betrays Morgoth. In fact, her final fate is shrouded in as much mystery as her origin. After she flees to unknown regions, it's said that she devours herself in her insatiable hunger. This self-destruction is emblematic of a creature that exists outside of even the rules of survival and purpose that define Middle-earth's creatures. Tom Bombadil and Ungoliant, though not Nameless Things themselves, serve as boundary figures that hint at the mysteries and powers existing outside the primary narratives of Middle-earth. They are evidence that Tolkien's world is more than the battles between good and evil. It is also a place with untold ancient mysteries and forces that don't fit neatly within the established order. By placing characters like Bombadil and Ungoliant within the world of Middle-earth, Tolkien emphasizes the idea that even in a world of defined cosmic struggles, some mysteries are never fully explained. This element of the unknown imbues Middle-earth with a sense of wonder and depth, allowing readers to feel that there is always something more, lurking just out of sight or deep beneath the earth. Why Tolkien left some mysteries unexplained. Tolkien was not only a master storyteller, but also a literary scholar who understood the power of mystery in myth and legend. One of his guiding principles in crafting Middle-earth was that the world should feel like a true mythological landscape, complete with enigmas, unanswered questions, and legends that stir the imagination. The Nameless Things, Tom Bombadil, and even certain aspects of Sauron's own backstory are intentionally left mysterious, providing readers with a sense that Middle-earth is deeper and more expansive than what is directly explained in the text. Tolkien believed that leaving parts of his world unexplained made it feel more real. In his letters, he commented that a good story should have elements that are unknown or enigmatic, things that readers can only guess at but never fully understand. This aligns with how myths work in real-world cultures. Mythologies are rarely complete, often leaving gaps or mysteries that invite endless speculation. By crafting Middle-earth in this way, Tolkien created a world that mirrors our own in its depth and complexity, making it feel truly timeless and immersive. In leaving the Nameless Things unexplained, Tolkien tapped into a universal human fascination with the unknown. Just as people throughout history have imagined what might lie in the depths of the sea or beyond the edge of the world, the Nameless Things in Middle-earth hint at horrors and wonders that lie beyond our comprehension. These mysteries give Middle-earth a sense of depth that stretches far beyond what is shown in The Lord of the Rings, suggesting a past so ancient and vast that not even Gandalf, the wisest of the Fellowship, dares to probe it too deeply. Another advantage of leaving certain aspects unexplained is that it allows readers to engage their own imaginations. When Gandalf mentions the nameless things, we are given only a few words about what they might be. This lack of detail invites readers to fill in the gaps themselves, imagining what kinds of creatures might dwell in the uttermost depths of the world. Each reader might envision something different based on their own experiences and fears, making the nameless things even more powerful as symbols of the unknown. Tolkien's choice to leave mysteries unsolved is also a comment on the limits of knowledge. Gandalf, one of the most powerful beings in Middle-earth, explicitly states that he will not describe what he saw, saying he doesn't wish to darken the light of day with such knowledge. This idea, that some things are best left unspoken, adds a philosophical layer to the narrative. In a world where even Sauron and the Balrogs are ultimately understandable, the nameless things remind us that there are forces beyond the comprehension of even the wisest. This restraint in storytelling is what makes Middle-earth feel like a place of genuine wonder, where even the most knowledgeable characters can still be humbled by the world's vastness and mystery. This narrative technique aligns with one of Tolkien's central philosophies, that myth and legend should contain splintered light, as he called it. Tolkien believed that myth allows us glimpses into a deeper, more profound reality without fully revealing it. By leaving parts of Middle-earth unexplained, he preserves this sense of splintered light, giving readers glimpses of a reality that is tantalizingly beyond reach. These mysteries give Middle-earth a kind of weight and depth that goes beyond mere storytelling. They suggest that, like our own world, Middle-earth has its own unknowable corners, places where even the bravest do not tread. In keeping some mysteries unexplained, Tolkien made Middle-earth feel alive. Just as our world has its unsolved mysteries, forgotten ruins, strange natural phenomena, and unanswered questions about our own origins, so too does Middle-earth contain its own secrets. The nameless things, hiding in the depths of the world, represent a timeless truth about the human experience, that no matter how much we learn or discover, there will always be something beyond our grasp. This truth makes Middle-earth resonate on a deeper level, providing readers with a sense that the story we read is only one part of a far larger tapestry. In essence, the nameless things represent the boundary between knowledge and mystery, the edge of the known world where even the wise do not venture. By leaving these mysteries intact, Tolkien offers readers a Middle-earth that feels as deep, complex, and awe-inspiring as the world we inhabit. This sense of the unknown is what makes Tolkien's work so enduring, allowing readers to return to Middle-earth time and again, always discovering something new in its timeless mythic landscape. And so, the mystery of the nameless things remains, enriching the depth of Middle-earth with the unknowable. By leaving certain elements unexplained, Tolkien gives us a world that feels alive, vast, and layered with ancient secrets. The nameless things, along with enigmatic characters like Tom Bombadil and Ungoliant, remind us that even in a world of myth, there are still questions unanswered and depths unfathomable. This is what makes Middle-earth feel so timeless. Its mysteries echo our own. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Tolkien's legendarium, don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the hidden corners of Middle-earth. See you next time.